Most people don't evolve after success. They protect it. That's the strange part. Something works once, and instead of evolving from it, they build their identity around preserving it. They hold on to old versions of themselves just because those versions once produced results. You can see it everywhere. A person has one good year and spends the next 5 trying to recreate it. A creator finds a style that works and becomes trapped inside it. A musician makes one successful sound and slowly turns into an imitation of their own past. Nothing new enters. Everything becomes maintenance. That's what attachment does. It freezes movement. I've seen it directly on my own account. Over 3 million views sitting there. Years of work, thousands of videos. Numbers people would hold on to just to say they had them. I deleted over 4,000 videos. Wiped out around 1.3 million views with them. Most people hear that and think it's irrational. It wasn't. Those videos belonged to an older direction. Different energy, different focus, different understanding of what I was building. Keeping them there just because they once performed well would have tied the account to something I'd already outgrown. That's the part people struggle with. Old success can become an anchor, not visibly, mentally. You start protecting what worked instead of building what's next. You become careful. You stop experimenting. You stop moving naturally. Every decision becomes filtered through preserving what already exists. That's where evolution slows down. In Buddhism, attachment isn't only about relationships or possessions. You can become attached to identity, image, achievement, even old versions of yourself. The mind clings to what once brought security and resists letting it dissolve. But life moves, whether you cling or not. The law of rhythm keeps everything in motion. What rises changes form. What worked once eventually loses alignment. Holding on to it too tightly creates friction. You can feel when something has expired internally. Most people ignore that feeling. They keep carrying old structures long after the energy left them. A creator knows when their work no longer reflects them properly. A person knows when a role no longer fits. A thinker knows when an old belief no longer feels alive. The question is whether you let it go. That's where evolution starts. Not in adding endlessly, in removing what no longer belongs. Psychology touches this in a simple way. Identity becomes rigid when people over-attach to previous success. The ego begins protecting consistency instead of growth. It would rather repeat something familiar than risk becoming something new. That's why so many people plateau after success. Not from lack of ability, from attachment to the version that first succeeded. There's a hermetic principle underneath this too. Everything moves. Nothing stays fixed. Trying to freeze yourself at one successful point in time goes against the movement itself. You either evolve with the rhythm or slowly become trapped inside your own past. That applies to people far beyond content or numbers. Relationships, careers, beliefs, personal identity. At some point, growth asks for a sacrifice, not punishment, space. Something old has to go so something more aligned can take its place. Most people can feel that moment arrive. Very few act on it. They protect what they built instead of becoming what they're capable of next. That's why attachment kills evolution. Not dramatically, quietly. One safe decision at a time.